You know, for California nonprofits, there's this one piece of paperwork that's so simple and honestly so easy to forget that it quietly shuts down hundreds of organizations every single year. It literally freezes their ability to operate. So today, we're going to break down exactly what this thing is and how to make sure it never ever happens to you. It sounds totally crazy, right? But believe me, the answer is a huge yes. Missing this one simple, super cheap filing can get your grant application rejected in a heartbeat. It doesn't matter how incredible your programs are, this is like the hidden tripwire in California compliance that catches so many good nonprofits completely off guard. And there it is, the form that's at the center of all this potential chaos, the Statement of Information. It's just a required filing with the California Secretary of State. And really, all it does is keep the public record updated with, who's running your nonprofit and where to find you. Sounds simple, but the consequences if you forget it? Yeah, those are anything but simple. So what really happens when you miss this deadline? Look, the state doesn't just send you a friendly reminder note. Nope. They actually change your legal status. And this suspended status, it has really serious, real-world consequences for your day-to-day work. And wow, the difference is night and day. When your status is active, you're good to go. You can get grants, you can sign contracts, you can operate legally. But the second you get slapped with that suspended status, you are legally blocked from doing business. Funders will see that and reject your applications on the spot. Your entire mission is just frozen. And this is the part that is just wild. The on-time filing fee to avoid that whole catastrophe, the rejected grants, the legal paralysis, all of it, is just $20. That's it. The gap between the tiny cost of staying compliant and the massive cost of what happens if you don't is huge. So the big question is, why is this $20 filing so ridiculously easy to miss? Well, the answer really comes down to its unique timing. This is not your typical once-a-year deadline, and that is what trips everybody up. So let's decode this deadline right now so you are never caught by surprise again. Okay, the keyword here is biennial. It means the Statement of Information is only due once every 2 years. And because it's not an annual thing like your tax filings, it just completely falls off the radar. A 2-year gap is more than enough time for that knowledge to get lost, especially when you have board members or staff coming and going. The other really tricky part is that the deadline is tied to your nonprofit's specific incorporation month. So, for example, if you incorporated back in March of 2022, your filing is due by the end of March 2024, and then again in March 2026, and so on. But a nonprofit that incorporated in, say, September, they have a September deadline. There's no single universal date for everyone to remember. So let's just quickly recap these traps. First, it's biennial, not annual, so it's not part of anyone's normal yearly routine. Second, your deadline is totally unique to your organization, so you can't rely on general reminders you might see online. And third, that 2-year gap is the perfect recipe for this information to get lost as people move on from your nonprofit. So you see, it's completely understandable why this happens. Okay, enough about the problem, right? The good news is that preventing this whole mess is incredibly simple. We've put together a really straightforward 4-step action plan that you can use right now to get this under control for good. Here's the plan. It's super easy. First, go find your articles of incorporation and figure out your incorporation month. Second, calculate your next deadline. It's that same month, just every 2 years. Third, and this is crucial, go into your calendar right now and set a perpetual, recurring reminder for every 2 years. And finally, step 4, just to be safe, go to the California Secretary of State website today and verify that your status is active. Look, the goal here isn't just to file it once and forget it. It's about building a simple system that guarantees you never have to deal with a suspension. This is all about shifting from a reactive panic to a proactive, easy habit. Seriously, the amount of time and stress and effort it takes to untangle a suspension, I'm talking filing back forms, paying penalties, explaining the whole thing to your funders, it's just monumental compared to the 30 minutes it takes to file on time. So the question I'll leave you with is this: does your organization actually have a system for this, or are you just leaving it all to chance?